Hey friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and for those of you who come to me for tarot readings and demonstration readings, you'll get it. And today's reading, I can't help but be moved by the 50501 event that's happening today across the United States. I have an appointment that I can't cancel, and it wouldn't allow me to go to Trenton, to my state capital, to attend. So we're disappointed about that. However, and I am a child of the 60s, I get reared up. I get roared up, right? Public protest is important, right? If you just roll over and say, oh, well, what can I do about it? You're accepting and you're allowing. So it's important to protest, and it's important to let your voice be heard. I did contact my senators and congressmen. The only one I really heard anything meaningful from was Senator Andy Kim. What a great guy, who gave me a very thoughtful and long response, even though I checked the box saying I don't expect a response. I got one. Please, you can all contact, if you can't attend the 50501 meeting today in your respective state, the least you can do is write or call your congressman. And if you're not I don't want to make a phone call, you can type in the phone number, right, in the URL, and you'll get a list. I'll put that phone number down below. I don't have it handy right now. And the phone number will give you it'll tell you who you contact. It'll make it super duper easy. So all you have to do is do an email to your congresspeople. But you got to put pressure on them, especially if you live in a red state. I mean, I live in a blue state, and I'm preaching to the choir, right? But they have to be told that we expect them not to normalize this stuff. It's not politics. This is criminal activity and criminal behavior that has taken over our government. That's it. So today's reading, I really would like to do on behalf of the people who are able to attend the meetings. It'll be a wave, I guess. It'll happen on the East, Middle States, and then the West Coast. The East Coast people will be the first guinea pigs, and I say that, and I guess this is coming out too late. Yeah, it's like 2012. It's coming out too late for the individuals who are going to their capitals on the East Coast. But you need to be sensible, because he unleashed all those insurrectionists. Why did he release them? Because they're going to come in handy to do his bidding. They're reared and they're charged up and they're loyal. So for those of you who are going to your capitals, bear in mind, I don't want to say it, but bear in mind that you may be like shooting ducks in an apple, apples in a barrel, right? We're probably all going to be wearing blue, and you're all going to be located in one place at the same time. Bear in mind that there are evildoers. This is not just a casual demonstration to show your support. This is dirty. It has the potential to be dirty. I've composed a list of information that I've gathered from other people who perhaps are more well-informed on these kinds of political gatherings and what's necessary to protect yourself. And I'll give it to you. Wear solid, nondescript clothing. Cover things like tattoos. Anything that makes you stand out or identifiable, because even though you're not doing anything wrong, and I'm sure you'll be peaceful, if you're arrested, you're going to be cited for doing something wrong, okay? And if you're just, if you got like goggles on your face and you got a hood on your head, and you're not wearing anything that shows who you are, right? If you're just wearing solid colors, nothing that could identify you in a crowd, that's what you do. Bring masks or goggles or something to protect your eyes. There's probably going to be tear gas. Skip your contact lenses, because if there's tear gas, that's going to be a problem. have emergency contacts on your person, plus cash. Maybe put it in your shoe, someplace, that if necessary, you could be identified, or I don't even want to say such things, but if you know people in the area, have contact information so you can get to them in a hurry. If you have long hair, tie it back up, tie it in the back. Bring water for hydration, for a long day, but also for your eyes to clean. Bring your snacks, it goes without saying. Bring your ID. For whatever reason, they say bring a washcloth. I don't know what for, but if you're in a situation, you may know what it's for. Bring first aid supplies. Turn off your cell phones, put them in airplane mode, and disable data. Just like criminals they turn off their phones when they go do a dirty deed to protect yourself, to keep you from being identified in that area. These people don't mean well, right? You don't want to be easily pinpointed. Don't wear jewelry, and don't have anything that you could be arrested for. My public service announcement. And I haven't said anything that is illegal, and I haven't done anything. I'm just trying to protect the lives of innocent people. All right. Now, I was toying with the idea of doing a Lenormand reading on this topic, but I don't have any business doing serious readings of Lenormand. And I don't know anybody that would be interested in seeing me do Lenormand readings anyway, because I have no idea what I'm doing. But I do understand tarot, and this is an important topic, and so I want to at least use a deck. Not that I'm so fabulous in, use tarot. Not that I'm like so wonderful in tarot, but because I have more familiarity and I'm more likely to get a better read. For this reading, I'm going to be using the recent acquisition that I have from Marco Benedetti, the Sarton. I really like this deck for a lot of reasons. I like it because it's got the Spanish captain. I like it because it's got Bacchus. And there's a lot of that kind of energy in our government today. So I'm hoping those cards pop up. And I'll tell you, I'm not an expert on those cards. And there's certainly people who are more learned about those. I've never seen an Italian comedy play. But I do get, I think, the gist of them. And so I'm hoping, well, I'm not sure if I'm hoping they pop up, but if they do pop up, this will probably be the type of reading it would pop up in. I just want to see how it will go for our friends and neighbors who are protesting for our democracy. I really hope, my hopes and prayers and my candle lights are for the safety and well-being, and for the demonstration to bring attention, to show we're not playing games. We're not playing games. We're not taking this lightly. And anyway, you may notice that my shirt is an Air Force shirt. They call me Mrs. Colonel. My husband served this country for 37 years in uniform. And we're patriots, not nationalists. There's a big difference. He did not spend 37 years of his life fighting for this country or defending this country. He was an intel man. He did not spend 37 years to see it go down the toilet. And most people think that military people are all Trumpsters. No, there are lots of patriots in the military. Alrighty, I'll do my signature spread, the 9 cards, and then the additional 4. I think it's a total of 13 cards. And I'd just like to see what effect it's, I guess, a general read, because there are at least 3 different time zones in the United States. So the reaction might not all be the same. So I guess I'll do it for the first group. I'll do it for the East Coast, okay? This reading will be, see how it goes for the East Coast. And of course, it could happen differently. The East Coast, well, there's a lot of blue in the north in the mid-Atlantic states, and then south of that, it starts getting red, So the reaction on the east, it won't be consistent. And, oh boy. Now let me flip the camera and get to it. Oh, these stupid glitching I don't know. If anybody understands why my camera glitches, I would really appreciate it if you could give me some insight on that. We begin with 9 batons. Society, unrest, gathering. Well, that's very apropos, isn't it? Announcement, reveal, perhaps it could be announcements. It could be, it could be a gathering of people blowing their horns, making themselves known. Could be seen in that context. Generally, I see this as being held accountable. So the crowd gathers to bring accountability. Another baton. So at least the agitation is a little bit on the decrease. It's hopeful. Okay, we have the King of Cups. Usually, I think a good guy, he is under batons. Fire and water don't mix, so it could represent the unstable nature of an emotional person in charge, an emotional leader. Remember, that's batons, right? That's fire for me. This is water. They touch one another. This is why if you read with TDM cards or PIP style cards, you don't need to do reversals and stuff, because you look at the cards that are in proximity. I don't always point that out when I do readings, but it's, part of how I understand what's coming out. We have coins, opportunity. Well, front and center, one of the biggest things that's disturbing us all is the Treasury, right? I mean, Elon Musk has access to our Treasury Department. And what's he in charge of? He's in charge of cutting the fat. He's in charge of saving the United States money. So it's not just a matter of, it's a matter of him having access. You're filing your tax returns, you better hope you get something back. Or you do for having services, you better hope you get them. Right? So perhaps this is the instability regarding that. And I think, in large degree, most people are protesting as a result of this. Again, the 8 of batons, another social agitation. Queen of Swords, no nonsense, swift action. Impersonal. Oh boy. Another queen, Queen of Coins. Falling under coins. And then the Moon card. Lunacy. I would say that this could represent things that happened undercover or things that are happening without your knowledge, but this stuff's happening in broad daylight. I mean, nobody's hiding. The criminals are not hiding their activity. They're blatantly waving their freak flags, And when I see this now in that context of our politicians or the people in charge now, I just see it as collective inferiority of mental health. Let me go off camera, do the Quint cards. I'll be right back. Alrighty. because some of the cards are in play already, like the quint card for the two top rows are the same, the hermit card. So I had to pick another Flemish deck. So I just picked the Adam C. de Hautot. To that one happens to be published by Tarot Sheet Revival. And interestingly, the two quint cards for these rows add up to 18, which of course 1 and 8 is 19. Excuse me, 1 and 8 is 9, which is very interesting. So we have Hermit, Moon. The quint for that is Temperance. The overall feel I get is literally temperate, right? It could be that they'll be diffused. That could be, but usually when I see Temperance, I think that the toxicity has been diffused rather than the individuals who are doing in the right are being diffused. But it could be either way. But I'm hoping that it's suggestive that to some degree it will be effective and that the toxicity will be diffused. And I'm hoping that that's what this interpretation means. I'll calm her down a little bit. And interestingly, the Spanish captain and Bacchus didn't show up. Both times that I've done a spread with these cards on film, I might have done more than one on film. I don't think in any case has have those cards popped up, which is kind of interesting. My hand large, I'm thinking that at least on the East Coast, there it will be an assertion, right? Addressing the instability regarding our treasury, social gathering. It'll be the people being represented. Us, will be sensible people, mature people. So we're not the buffoons, We're not the clowns, right? We've been saying this was going to be a possibility from the very beginning, back in 2016. And you know what? The older folks, older than me, when my mother, on her deathbed in 2016, November 5th, she died, her last concerns, aside from just, talking to us, but, her last things was, don't let him win. Don't let him win. This is how Hitler started. And everybody's like, comparing him to Hitler is wrong. Hitler's way worse. Well, guess what? He's got his second wind. And it took Hitler 56 days to dismantle what was, the peaceful, what was going, the organized government over in Germany. Well, guess what? He's doing it here quicker. Oh, my heart's beating. I got to stop. Yeah, there's lunacy. This card is represented twice. So we have to recognize that we're not dealing with sanity. We're not dealing with sane people. We're not. There's mental illness for sure. And it's not like it's happening without our knowledge. This stuff is happening right in front of our face. He's boldly saying what he's doing. And he's just flaunting it to us. The queens, well, you know what? Women power. Women, we have more power than we think we do. And we have purchase power. Boy, oh boy, we buy a lot of stuff. And you know what? We can be this. Some of you, I often get compliments like, Marilyn, you seem so sweet. You seem so nice or whatever. But if any of you saw let me flip the camera for a second because I'm going to get real with you. But if any of you saw the video I did a few days ago about how upset I was, and I spoke firmly, I can be sweet and I'm kind. I'm a very kind person, but I'm also very fair. Hey, I got a touch of Leo. I am a Leo. Every now and then, you mess with my loved ones you mess with. I'm here for my loved ones. I'm here for the underdog. I'm keenly, acutely tuned into what being fair and being just, And when I said, suck it up, buttercup, to those who voted this monster in, I meant it, I meant it. And yeah, look, see? Fortitude. There's a certain amount of restraint, dignity, integrity to do things that way. But boy, oh boy, you wake up the beast, And women, that's how we have to be. We have a lot of purchase power. Maybe even more than men, because we buy a lot of stuff. I'll tell you what, I'm a woman who 3-4 times a day, I'm hitting the Amazon button trying to buy something from Amazon, like for my grandchildren or something for the house. I haven't purchased anything from Amazon all week. I realize it's only Wednesday, but still, that's a big thing for me, and I'm committed. I'm going to the stores if I need to go to the stores, and we'll take no prisoners. This is almost it's not necessarily not having heart, but it's, if we're representing women, it's like, be assertive, use your power, use your spending power in particular. Now, how does this relate to the people that are there? I don't know, maybe more women than men will show up. That's a possibility. Maybe more women than men will show up. I'm glad to see that there's no really devastating. It'll be sensible. It looks like it'll be sensible. Maybe it'll have some effect to diffuse the toxicity at hand. Maybe somebody will hear. Maybe the news. I'm hopeful for this. I'm hopeful for this card. Remember, this card was between social activity, social unity, social action, bringing to light. What's this card? What's the card of bringing to light? It's above, directly above this card, which to me I think represents the Treasury. We're mostly upset about that. We're upset about everything, but this is the biggest thing. And if you're not upset about this, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. I know that in the meanwhile, there have been FBI agents who have filed a class action suit. And even they're scared. When I say be careful, I mean it. Even the FBI in their class action suit, they've identified themselves as John Doe and Jane Doe. They're not even putting their names on their class action suit. Okay? So this is how treacherous and dangerous these people are. So I'm happy to see that the people who will be going are smart, sensible, perhaps the majority of women, to fight the injustice of an unstable mind, of the men, the powerful man, and could be men in charge. So I'm hopeful that the East Coast thing will go well. But still, everyone, it's happening right now. It's noon. It's a couple minutes after noon. My heart is with you. I have to go. I have an appointment. I have my own health. And I'm telling you, this has really gotten me going. Until next time, friends, peace. Stay well, be kind. And for our friends up north in Canada and our friends in Mexico, you do what you got to do. We stand with you for sure. And our European friends and allies, please realize that the majority, he got voted in. I mean, we're even beginning to doubt that he was legitimately voted in. I mean, $500 billion, whatever he donated $300 million. $300 million could buy a lot of influence, or buy, maybe it's possible he never really did win. Before the election, he even said, I don't even need your votes, I got this. So who knows? Until next time, friends, you know the drill.